Cancer is an awful disease, and it's a thief. It robs us of joy and love, and it's not fair, but there's hope.
I was 41 years old, and my husband and I were blessed with a surprise baby boy. We also have a 10-year-old and a 9-year-old, so we thought we were done, but God had other plans. Everything was okay. Up until about the 3rd trimester, I had went back to school as a teacher in August, and I was trying my best to just keep pushing through, making sure I was drinking enough water and eating well. The baby seemed fine, but I just couldn't come around, and I just was not feeling well. We just kind of chalked it up to morning sickness. I started to lose weight. I was still getting sick every day, but baby was still fine. So it was kind of confusing as to what was going on. I started to get dehydrated. The doctor had said, you've been complaining about this for a while now. We can't really do much. But if you go to the ER, perhaps they'll give you a scan. They didn't want to scan me though in the ER because I was pregnant. So they did do an ultrasound of my gallbladder, and that was okay. And they cleared me of any kind of bowel obstruction or anything. Now I'm losing weight. I'm still throwing up. And at one point I threw up blood. I ended up going to labor and delivery for a checkup, and my blood pressure was high. That raised some alarms. And I started to tell the nurse about how I had been getting sick pretty much every day for the last 2 months of the pregnancy. The high risk doctor comes in and he's like, we're going to go. We're going to have a baby today. I was so nervous to have the C-section. We just missed the NICU by a few pounds. He was born at 5 pounds and a month early, but all was well. So then later that night in the hospital, I order a meal. I start to eat it, and after a few bites, I'm like, I'm full. Something's not right. And from there, I got a little sick, and there was blood. They ordered a CT scan. I didn't get much information from the CT scan, but next thing I knew is that they said that they wanted to do an endoscopy. I'm in the recovery room, and the GI doctor comes in and tells me that they found something. This was the first time that I had ever heard the words gastric adenocarcinoma. And to me, it seemed like a foreign language. I didn't even really know what any of that meant. He had said stomach cancer. That just was not on my radar at all. To my knowledge, I hadn't had any family history of stomach cancer. Once we found out that I was CDH1 positive and what that involved with genetic mutations, the blows kept coming. My sister, who actually just passed away in the middle of this month on October 17th, she fought primary peritoneal cancer. She was my half sister on my dad's side. When she was genetic tested, she did not have the CDH1 gene. My dad had already passed away, so we couldn't test him for it. My mom went ahead and got tested, and unfortunately, she is a carrier. Now, my sisters and my nieces and nephews, should they all get tested, it set off a domino effect of not only is this cancer now affecting me, it's affecting everyone around us. I was down to 98 pounds. I was in the 150s when I was pregnant. I was very ill. I had very little energy. We knew that I had to have chemo, but we were like, is it going to kill me? At 98 pounds, I can't eat, I can't drink. I wasn't tolerating much food. We fought for TPN nutrition, and that really made a huge difference. I believe in my how I tolerated chemotherapy, how in my strength, in my electrolytes, in my nutrition. TPN saved my life. We started with chemotherapy. I started with FOLFOX, which is the 5-FU, and oxaliplatin. We were able to add immunotherapy, Opdivo, nivolumab, to that. I responded well to chemo, and by December, I was eating better again. The university hospital that I was being treated at had a clinical trial for HIPEC, which is hyperthermic intraperitoneal chemotherapy. So traditional systemic chemotherapy through your port doesn't always combat peritoneal spread. They'll go in laparoscopically into your abdomen and run chemotherapy through it. I said, okay, that's what we want. I was going to have that done in February of 2025. And the day before I was set to go in to have that done, I got a notification that insurance had denied it because they deemed it experimental. I'm fighting. I'm not giving up. I'm going to do whatever it takes to combat this. I started to seek out other clinical trials at other institutions just to do whatever I could. In that time, February and March, I was off of chemo because you have to rest before you can get a HIPEC. So unfortunately, while I was off of chemo, my symptoms came back. So I knew that the tumor was growing again. I started back on chemo in April. We found another hospital that had another clinical trial with a HIPEC and a gastrectomy. But in June, I was able to have my first HIPEC. It was no joyride by any means. Fast forward to July of 2025, I was able to go back and have a second HIPEC, but combined with a gastrectomy. And during that surgery, it was 12 hours, and they removed my stomach, my spleen, gallbladder, ovaries, appendix, omentum, part of my peritoneum, and 45 lymph nodes. 3 of those lymph nodes were positive for cancer, but the rest were not. Right now, I feel good. There was a feeding tube placed at the time of surgery, but I only needed it for about a week after surgery. And then at my 6-week follow-up, I got the feeding tube removed. And I've been able to maintain my weight since then. And I've been able to eat mostly like normal. My son was born September 26th, and I was officially diagnosed September 30th. This entire past year has been a complete blur.
Thank God for my family for being here to help care for him over this past year, because we've been gone a lot, traveling to different doctors for different opinions, and then also traveling to get the surgeries and the treatments, and then the days that I just needed to sleep when I didn't feel well. So absolutely, I feel robbed, even almost like a shell of myself. I feel like I've missed the last year, the first year of his life. I've been here, but I haven't been here, if that makes sense.
Life post-gastrectomy is, I feel like the dust is still settling, even from the whirlwind that was this year. We would not be where we are today without family. And without family and friends, just even people that we've just met. Our church family has taken us in as their own and welcomed us, and it's meant the world. I feel like all of our relationships, especially my husband and I's, has strengthened. We've grown so much in faith and in hope and love. We have all 3 of our beautiful children to show for it.
I wish that they never had to watch me go through it. They've given me the strength to keep fighting and to not give up and to get up every day with renewed energy and hope and love, because it's the light in their face that gives me the light in mine and in my heart. I thank them for being so strong, but also to know that they don't always have to be so strong, that it's okay to feel all of the things that they need to feel.
I'm very blessed to have such a strong support system, and it's meant the world. For other patients going through treatment and facing a diagnosis, God bless you. I pray for you and for your strength. fight for yourself. Don't give up. Do the research. Ask for help if you need it, because it's there. Find a doctor that is in your corner as well and that will fight for you. Try to do research. Advocate for yourself. I hope to go to Washington this year and advocate for stomach cancer and be a body in the room or a voice or a shoulder to cry on. Whatever position I need to be in, I know that God will put me there. I just want to take all that love that I've been shown this year and share it.
If you liked this story, we've queued up another one right here on your screen. And don't forget, hit the subscribe button for the patient story so you're among the first to learn about all the stories that come here on our channel. For now, I'm Stephanie Trong with The Patient Story, where we give human answers to your cancer questions.